on WDET. I'm Robin Vincent. Soccer fans know a pitch as the field where the game begins. Now, Detroit City Football Club is building a new one in Corktown, and they're also making a pitch to neighbors. Under Detroit's Community Benefits Ordinance, big projects like this one must work with residents to address community concerns. That's where the Neighborhood Advisory Council, or NAC, comes in. 9 members, chosen by residents, city council, and developers, will meet with the team over the coming months to hammer out how this project can benefit the neighborhood. Producer Jack Philbrandt sat down with Detroit documenters Robert DeAndrea and Noah Kincaid to learn more about the Neighborhood Advisory Council and what's at stake for residents. Jack started by asking Noah what will come from the many meetings taking place.
At the end of the process, really what we want to see is the immediate neighborhood pleased with how the development is going to progress. They're going to be getting all the things that they want in exchange for, the things they'll be giving up, like possibly parking is going to be harder, right? But, some of the things that the developer, Sean Mann, is offering are affordable housing units. So he's planning to build 76 units of affordable housing that are going to kind of surround the development. He is going to, the plan at least, is to include a bunch of retail spaces that are outward facing on the perimeter of the stadium so that year round, whether there's an event happening there or not, those retail spaces can be open. So it's going to be, a hub for small businesses in the neighborhood. The idea here is to really kind of develop 20th Street between Michigan and Verner and then and down to Bagley, like really develop that as kind of this thriving corridor that doesn't exist right now. So that would, and there are other benefits that just naturally happen, right? Sure, parking may be more difficult, but like all the businesses in that area in Corktown and Southwest Detroit are going to benefit from all these people coming in for matches. They're going to go out and they're going to spend their dollars at local businesses before and after the games. So it's really about balancing the, the sacrifices maybe that the neighborhood's going to have to make with, the benefits that are going to be negotiated by this NAC. They're directly negotiating all of these benefits on behalf of their neighbors. So that everyone comes out of this feeling good about the process and good about the end development.
Who do we know that's sitting on the NAC so far?
The 2 members that we know so far that were elected at the August 28th meeting were Martina Guzman and Bree Williamson. Martina is a local journalist. Her family has lived in the area since the 1950s. And Bree Williamson is she is the president of the North Corktown Neighborhood Association, and they both sounded very, very serious about the role that they are taking on, and really being there to represent the neighbors. And I know one thing Bree said that I thought was interesting was she said, that she studied all 15 of the previous CBOs, and she said, and those agreements that came out of them, and she said, look, I know the difference between what is legally required by the developers and what is going to actually benefit the neighborhood, and I'm going to fight for that.
Robert, to bring you into the conversation, what are some of the interesting things about the stadium that you learned at the meeting?
If Detroit gets what is promised with the stadium, we're talking about a 15,000-seat stadium that would host concerts and other collegiate and pro sports, besides being the soccer stadium. And then, as Noah said, we're also looking at building out 20th Street, turning that into a hub with businesses and restaurants on it. So, all of that sounds like it could be a boon for Detroit. Something that stuck out, something that really stood out during the meeting was that a representative from the soccer club said that in their current home in a stadium in Hamtramck, they have more national broadcasts than most soccer clubs in the U.S. And they also hammered home how soccer is really having a moment and its popularity is only growing. And if that were to continue, we see sports is worth big money media deals, and down the road that could be something also. So what is being proposed sounds like there could be some fun stuff in there.
What are some of the residents' concerns surrounding this project, Robert?
Well, parking is probably the thing that comes up the most. There's already a scarcity of parking in the area around Corktown, around the train station. And so there's a lot of concern about what that will look like in the future, whether residents will be able to park in front of their own homes. The construction is an issue, and, the noise and dust that comes through that. And then also just the things that the NAC is set up to address, the extent to which there will be collaboration with the community and the people who live there, how much they will have a say in the process. Part of the benefit of what this development could bring is that it's just going to require being able to get a mass amount of people in and out of that area. And so that is going to, ideally, the developers are talking about how that could lead to more green infrastructure, more public transit, looking at more things like ride share, bike share, scooters, that sort of thing, just to be able to get thousands of people in and out of that corridor. So that's another thing that could be a benefit to the community.
Robert, another thing that I thought was really interesting about the meeting that you went to was the number of people that came to the meeting. Can you kind of talk about the atmosphere and what you saw there?
There were many people there for a local government meeting. I mean, the sign-ins were over 150. It looked like more people in the room than that when I first got there. And there's quite a bit of diversity of sort of the usual suspects who are always at local government meetings and a part of some advocacy organization. But there were a lot of people who clearly were invested in being soccer fans and have created a community around that and have an interest in that, and people who have long histories in Detroit and are genuinely concerned about their neighborhoods. So some of the people speaking in public comment questioned whether there's enough outreach that is happening and whether enough of their neighbors are even aware of this process. But it is, I guess that goes back to the point of the spirit versus the letter of the community benefits agreement. Everything that's happening here is what City Council set up for this process to be. And so far, you're seeing high turnouts for a local government meeting.
Noah, I'm really curious what people can expect at the next meeting.
It'll be the first time that the entire NAC is together. So we'll find out who those other candidates were that got nominated or appointed by City Council and the Department of Planning and Development.
Detroit documenters Noah Kincaid and Robert DeAndrea, they were discussing the new Detroit City Football Club stadium and how residents are helping shape a changing Corktown community. They spoke with producer Jack Philbrandt. Coming up, as Detroiters prepare to choose their next mayor, affordable housing remains at the heart of the debate. We'll look deeper at the crisis and what the city's next leader must do to address it. That's next here on the Metro. Stay with us.